guys, welcome again. Today we are reading Boy Tales of Childhood, Roald Dahl. We'll read Mrs. Pratchett's Revenge. On farm of master, into the classroom with a piece of paper in his hand. The following are the report to the headmaster, and then read out other three names, which I have forgotten. The five of us stood up and left the room. We didn't speak as we made our way down to the long corridor. The headmaster's private quarters where the dreaded study was situated. Twice knocked the knock on the door. Enter. He sidled in. The room smelled of leather and tobacco. Mr. Combs was standing in the middle of dominating everything. A giant of man, if ever was one of his hands. He held a yellow cage which curved round top like a walking stick. Okay, I don't want any lies, he said. I know very well. You didn't it. You were all together. Line up over against the bookcase. We lined up, Thwaites in the front of I. The soon reason very back. I was last in the line. You, Mr. Combs, said, pointing the cane. Thwaites came over here. Thwaites forward very slowly. Bend over, Mr. Combs said. Thwaites bent over. You were revived on him. We were hypnotized by it all. We knew, of course. The boys got in the cane now. Again, the boys had never heard of anything being made to watch. Tighter, boy, tighter. Mr. Combs snapped. Out. Touch the ground. Thwaites touched the carpet with the tips of his finger. Mr. Combs stood back and looked up a pin stance with his legs. Mr. Combs and his eyes focused squarely upon it. He raised the cane high above his shoulder and he brought it down, loud swishing sound and then cracked like a pistol shot as struck Thwaites' bottom. Little Thwaites seemed to lift about a foot into the air. He yelled, "Ow! Ow! Ooh! 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 Ooh!" and straightened like an elastic. Big leather armchairs were tiny loathsome figure of Mrs. Pratchett. She was bounding and down with excitement. Let him! She was shrieking. Let him it! Teach him a lesson. Get down, boy. Mr. Combs uh, said, huh, that's telling, Mrs. Bradford. That's telling. The bigger. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like some awful pantomime to watch as whole became a nightmare. Fish crack meant the square. Ow! Ooh! 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 Yelled the twice. Arden! Shrieked Mrs. Cratchit. Stitch him up. Make the sting. Tickle. I am up good and proper warm. Is backside for I am. Go on. Warm it, headmaster. Twice received four strokes by the gum. There were four real whoppers. Next snapped Mr. Combs. Twice came hopping past of his toes, clutching his bottom with hands and yelling, "Oh! Ouch! 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 Ooh!" with tremendous reluctance. The next boy slid forward to his fate. I stood there wishing I had been last line. The watching and waiting were probably even greater torture than event itself. Mr. Mr. Cohn's performance the second time was the same as first. So Mr. Cratchit was the same first. She kept screeching her way through explorating. Mr. Combs to greater and still greater efforts and awful thing was that he seemed to be responding her cries. He was like an athlete who is spurred on by his shouts and crowd distance whether this was true or not. I was sure of things. He wasn't waking. My own turn came at last. My mind was swimming and my eyes had gone blurry. I went forward to bend over. I can remember wishing my mother would suddenly come bursting into the room shouting, "Stop! How dare you do that to my son?" But she didn't. All I heard was Cratchit's dreadful high-pitched, deepest of blooming. Lord, headmaster, make sure. Let him have it loud and strong. Mr. Combs
With the bags only, right? Instead of
that
suitcase.
as first stroke landed on the pistol crack sounded. I was thrown forward violently, that my fingers hadn't been touching the carpet. Hmm. Across the buttocks, so terrified that all I could to gasp, I gave a great bushing gasp that emptied my lungs of every breath of air that was in them. Huh. Uh, mm, so, mm, it felt promise. You as someone had laid red shot poker against my flesh and was pressing down on it hard. The second stroke was worse than the first, and probably because Mr. Combs was practiced and splendid in. He was able to seem land like second one across narrow line, where the first lands on the skin, but when it comes down, he raised and one the flesh agony is unbelievable. Whether or not why Mr. Combs had choked before her past after the first stroke? I do not know. This will go. This will be one page more. 58. To doubt it because he must known that this was practice much forward by headmasters in general in those days. It was not only recorded by unspotting, it was also an administration that you were not an expert in the job. Oh, wait. When I returned to the classroom, my eyes were wet with tears and everybody started at me. My bottom hurt and I sat down at my desk. That evening, after supper, my three sisters had their baths before me. Then it was my turn, but as I was about to step into bathtub, I heard a horrified gasp from my mother behind me. What's this? She gasped. What's happened to you? She was starting at my bottom. I myself had not inspected it up to then, but when I twisted my head around and took a look at one of my bottles, I saw the scarlet strips and the deep blue bruising in between. Who did this? My mother cried. Tell me at once. In the end, I had tell her whole story. While my three sisters, aged 9, 6, and 4, stood around the nighties, listening goggle-eyed. My mother heard me once in silence. She asked no questions. She just let me talk, and when I finished, she said to your nurse, "You get into bed. Nanny, I am going out." If I had slightest idea what she was going to next, I would have to try to stop her. But I didn't. She went straight downstairs and put on her hat. Then she marched out of house. Then the drive on the road. I saw her through the bedroom window as she went out calling gates and turned left. And I remember calling out her to back, back, come back. But she took no notice of me. She was walking very quickly, and her head high and her body by looking of things. I figured the thing was hard time. An hour later, my mother returned from upstairs to kiss us all good night. I wish you hadn't done that, I said to her. It makes me look silly. They don't beat small children like that. Where I come from, she said, I won't allow it. Then what did Mrs. Coates say to your mama? He told me that I was a foreigner and I didn't understand how UK schools were run. She said, did he got ratty with you? Very ratty, she said. He told me that if I didn't like his methods, I could take you away. But what did he say? I said I would as soon as school is finished. I shall find you an English school this time. She said, your father was right. English schools are the best in the world. Does it mean I'll be in a boarding school? I asked. It'll have to be, she said. I'm not quite ready to move to whole family to England yet. So I stayed on at Landless Cathedral School until the end of the summer term. End of the cathedral. So guys, so we have shared the you can share the comments with on the YouTube here. So it has been so okay.